I'll need to call some people in this room tonight. And I'm talking about those that have been casted away. Those of us that nobody seems to believe in. Those of us that are the black sheep. Those of us that are different, that are not in the group, that can't seem to fit in any group. I
Hmm.
need y'all to call them in here because I feel like they need to be encouraged tonight. Seriously. I feel like someone needs to be encouraged by understanding and knowing that it's okay to be different.
Right.
It's okay because you cut from a different type of cloth. It's okay. It doesn't mean that something is wrong with you. Don't let nobody box. Listen, y'all see the title. Do y'all see that? Do y'all see that? Do y'all see that title? You can't box me in. Your box
Yes.
is not big enough. I
No.
need you to call those that got a stamp on their back. Okay, the stamp of what? The stamp of greatness. Call them in this room tonight. Come on, get your free. Come on in, come on in. And if you're watching from YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can be reminded every single time we go live. I don't want you to miss nothing, okay? I don't want
Yes.
you to miss it. I don't want you to miss it. And I cannot, I cannot go any further without giving a major shout out to my brothers whom I love dearly, Jacob Anderson and Eddie Jones.
Yes.
95 South Podcast, 810
Mm.
Studios, my girl Pebbles that have put your girl on the map. Listen, we going places, y'all. Y'all sleep on the kid, okay? Y'all real sleep on the kid. I'm telling you, we going places. You do not
Yes.
miss the movement. And what movement
Mm.
is this? It's the movement of God's kingdom. That's all. That's all we doing. I
Amen.
promise you that's all we doing. So one more thing. If you want to be interviewed on Freedom Friday, please send your submissions to DITRINTL Corp at gmail.com. DITRINTL Corp at gmail.com. Otherwise, you can just send me an inbox or you can even write it in the comments because I do check my comments. All right, y'all. I feel like this gonna be good. So I want to get right into it. I don't want to waste no time. I have before you none other than my girl, she diddy herself. I thank you so much. Listen, I her resume is so long. Listen, she got such a long resume. I feel like if I try to read all of that, I'm gonna run out of breath. So what I want you to do,
I'm gonna
what
give
I
them a
want,
brief overview.
right? Just give them a little razzle dazzle, just a little something. Tell everybody who you are, where you're coming from, where we can find you, what you got going
Mhm.
on next, please.
Okay. Hi, it's your girl She Diddy. The name speaks for itself. It's an acronym, and I can tell you a little bit more about that later. But I am from Columbia, South Carolina. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. I'm going to try and make sure that you know that it is not what you see in the news. It is wonderful. It is a great place full of so much talent
Hmm.
here in the good old Carolinas. Um, I am going to tell you a little bit about myself, just kind of condense it. I am a mother of three wonderful children. I have
Oh,
two girls and a boy, and they keep me on my toes, and I love it. It's a
listen,
blessing to be a mother. This is a blessing to have children, and it's a blessing to be able to watch them grow up in this world. So
absolutely.
I don't take that for granted. I'm also an author, a singer, songwriter, and I also help produce some of the music that I have coming out. I'm also definitely an entrepreneur, so I have my own wine line. I have some jewelry. I dibble dabble in quite a few things. Um, and so that's going to be the brief overview of me, besides loving to travel. Where you can find me is I'm on all platforms. I definitely have a YouTube channel, She Diddy the Artist. You can find me on Instagram, same name. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on TikTok and Facebook, She Diddy the Artist. I am so easy to find. She did it. If you're looking for it, it is actually She Did It.
Oh, okay, but okay, so what does the acronym stand for?
Okay, so the S stands for, of course, because you got to talk about it. Not being a she, but being sexy. H being humble. E being educated.
Okay.
D being determined.
Hmm.
Then you have I, because I am definitely an intellectual. Then you got the diva, because
Yeah.
being a diva does not mean that you're a bad person. It just means that you know your worth.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
then the other D stands for determined, because I'm determined, dedicated, and a diva. All three D's means something.
Hmm.
And the why, hey, it is whatever you want it to be. But just remember, you're only as young as you feel. So that's what the Y stands for.
Okay. Okay.
So
Oh,
it
what you
has a
gonna
whole meaning. I mean, I really embody that because everything about me is is in that. It doesn't
Yeah,
mean God is not in any of that because it came from Him. He put everything in me.
absolutely, absolutely. And listen, I absolutely adore your personality. You are just like you're like a breath of fresh air. I don't know. You know how
Thank
sometimes
you.
there's just certain people that have a way of shifting your mood, and you have that kind of personality that just a person could be having a bad day and you just will come in and just shift their mood. God bless you.
Oh, thank you.
Anointing. That's an anointing. Let me get some. I want some.
Oh, girl, you can have it. It is freely there. I'm filling over, so here you go. I'm sharing it. As a matter of fact, the listeners, you can have it too.
Okay, so getting right into it.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I even chose the title, "You Can't Box Me In, Your Box is Not Big Enough," is because I heard your song "Box Me In" and I fell in love. I feel like that's my anthem because
Oh, you got a sneak peek. Oh, because it hasn't gotten out yet. It's supposed to drop next month.
are you serious?
Yes, it's dropping on my new
Oh,
album,
yes, please.
Manifested Arrival. And that is one of the
Wow.
songs that's on there.
Oh my God. When I say
You
I
got a
fell
sneak
in
peek.
love, I
Mm.
fell in love. But I'm glad I only grabbed the snippet. Okay. So
But that's good because everybody gets to hear a sneak peek of what's
yes.
coming up.
And it's so
'Cause-
it puts me in the mind of like soul, but like neo soul mixed with funk or not funk blues. There we go. It gives me like really
Mhm.
holiday vibes.
Oh,
And
yes, I love her.
oh, when I say it touched me because I feel like it describes my journey. I feel like it
Mhm.
describes me as a person, like especially being I have this title of apostle, people expect me to conduct myself in a specific way according to what they understand or according to
Um,
what they believe is supposed to be
mhm.
because of what they understand the title of apostle is.
Mhm.
And all of my life, I have struggled to not allow people to put me in this confinement
Mhm.
of who they think I should be because I could
Right.
never fit in that mold. I was too
Mhm.
out in the open. I was too much. I was so extra. I couldn't fit in this box. So when I heard the song, I said, God dog it. This lady she done somebody get me a shoe. I'm finna 'cause listen.
Well, this actually came from a point. It came from that point. It's like um I had left music from just on a personal standpoint and really kind of stayed within God with it. I had went through a whole journey spiritually. So
Yeah.
there was a lot of changes that happened, and when you kind of go away and then you come back, your mindset changes, you mature, and there's a lot of changes that happen. So
Yeah.
one of the songs that came on me was called Unbox Me, which is the one that you were
Oh,
playing.
oh my God.
It's
I'm
called
thrilled.
Unbox Me. And it was chosen because of just basically my life's journey to who I am today. And
Yeah.
even in the re entering into the music and now being a basically published and recorded artist, writing songs, there were so many ideas, so many ways that people were saying that I should be, I should act, I should sing, telling me what to do. And I'm like, one, the vision didn't come from you, it
Hello.
came from God. So you don't know what I'm being told. And so rather than be so up forward and blunt about it. I wanted to allow my music to be a way for those who aren't reading the book, which is the good book, the Bible, to
Yes.
be able to get some words of encouragement. But I also wanted those who are in the word to get a word as well and enjoy it as well. So my
Yes.
music is kind of a crossover. There are some that are not crossovers, but in the end, each one has a message that is going to encourage you no matter where you are, whether you're going through depression, whether
Yes.
you're going through financial situations, whether you are in a relationship that didn't happen the way you thought it should happen because of something else. Because I have a song out called Wise Option. That came from a place of hurt. I was hurt when I wrote that song. But
Okay.
rather than be upset in that song, I took it to be that I'm empowering. I wanted that to be a very empowering song. So
Yes.
even though it talks about the options, it was literally saying, oh, you may have made it one way and did things, but I got options. There are
Yes.
things that we can do, we can say, got options, just like with Unbox Me. Stop trying to tell me what to do. Stop putting me here.
Me.
Stop putting me there. Stop. So you can't always say stop. So, hey, all I can do is say, stop unbox this box that you created. That's what you saw.
Based
I'm
on
not
your
in it.
limited,
Yeah.
based on your limited
Mm-hmm.
understanding of who you think
Correct.
I am.
That's right. That's the thoughts that you have. That
Yeah.
is not what actually is here.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
so that's where that song came from. It came from literally the heart and just saying, you know what? I want to give a voice to those that feel like people are trying to have an ideology of you, but they're
Yes.
not seeing who you are. They're seeing what their mind has envisioned you to be. And they're
Yes.
taking your past and allowing that to conform your future. And that's not what should be.
Absolutely.
So I just took it to say, you boxing me in, but that's not going to work.
Come
You're
on.
going to realize you can't define nothing about me because they don't exist.
Right. Right.
I'm too
Okay.
big for that.
Absolutely. 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 Okay, so could you, because what we do is we
Hmm.
focus on and we advocate for mental wholeness. I really don't like to use the word mental health or mental illness because it has like a
Hmm.
negative connotation to it.
Hmm.
So what I do is I focus on mental wholeness. How do we break
Hmm.
free from certain bondages? How do we break free from certain mindsets? So from that perspective, I want you to explain to us from your perspective, what does being boxed in mean to you?
Boxing to me, um, it was a form of claustrophobia. It was a
Mm.
smothering of growth. It's like when you plant
Ooh,
a flower or a seed and you plant it so deep where you feel like it should grow and
yes,
then it does not. You don't
yes,
put nothing in it, you don't give it water, you don't give it the nutrients, you just plant it down and then leave it alone and think that it's going to grow based on, okay, I know what type of seed you are, I know what I planted, but there is nothing else given to you. So when I feel like that's kind of where I felt like with that. But then in the boxing, it's like somebody's putting you in this literal box called life,
yeah,
and you are in that box that they put you in. And it almost seems like a controlling of you, where you go,
yeah,
what to do. So you're now a puppeteer of, okay, you were born a woman. You're supposed to act this way. You're supposed to talk this way. You're supposed to have this job because of the past, where you were born at, who you're associated with, your financial stance when you were born. That is literally where you're supposed to stay at. You're not supposed to go and rise above that. You're not supposed to grow out and advance outside of that neighborhood that you're in. If you were born in what they call the ghetto, you're supposed to be ghetto the rest of your life.
right,
If you were
right,
born in suburbia, you're supposed to stay in a suburban life. And that doesn't mean that you can't go to Hollywood. You're born here, you're not going to travel. It's confining you to a small, centralized area.
Come on. I
where
say
you
small.
can't even get out. There's no opening. The boxes have four walls. There is no opening. There's no door. There's no windows. So you are closed in, and it's like sucking the life out of you.
Woo! Say that again.
It
Say
is
that.
literally sucking the life out of you because in a box there is no way to come in or go out. You were just in this box, closed in. And this is where they say you are, where you born at, those ramifications that happen to your mom, your dad, or whomever when you were born, that is where you're going to stay. You're
Hmm.
not supposed to become an entrepreneur. No, no,
Come
no, no,
on.
no. Your
Come on.
family was broke and you're
Come
going to stay
on.
broke too. Your mama was on drugs. You're supposed to be born and live that same cycle. Basically, the difference between a song that I wrote, which is called Endless Cycles, no, you're going to break them cycles. And that's
Right.
what the boxing is keeping you bound in chains to a life that you didn't choose, you were born into. But that does not mean you can't get out. Crabs in the
Absolutely.
barrel. It's
Absolutely.
too much. So being boxing is just sucking the life out of you.
Hmm. Absolutely. For me, to me, it means being confined to other people's narrative. Being confined to other people's narrative. Why do I say that?
Hmm.
Because God gave me a specific vision, right?
Hmm.
And it doesn't look like church.
Oh yes.
And because it doesn't look like church,
Hmm.
mind you, we the church, but that's a whole nother that's a whole nother message. Okay,
No,
we
that's a
the church,
box too. That's the truth.
right? But the
Because they
thing,
don't realize this is a temple.
this is just a temple, and the issue is this: the word apostle, for some reason, the saints centralize it or confine it to just the church, when really and truly, an apostle is somebody that's sent to do something, to either
Hmm.
build, to tear down, to reestablish. Like there are different things, different when the president of the United States goes to another country as a representation of the United States, he is an ambassador. He is an
Correct.
apostle. So the thing that I found myself battling for a very long
Hmm.
time is being this churchy person just because of the word apostle that's tied to my person, that's tied to my being. It's not my identity,
Hmm.
but it's something that is a part of who I am. You get what I'm
It's
saying?
the simple ideologies of
Yes.
what the title or the status of an apostle is, rather
Yes.
than see you as a person and see that the
Yes.
apostle is the title that you have on you, but you have a mission, you have
Thank
a
you.
goal
You said it.
that you do,
You
and
said
they
it. And
don't see that.
that's the part they don't comprehend. They don't comprehend I have a whole mission that you might not understand because you didn't provide the blueprint.
No.
Like you can't tell me what it's supposed to look like. You didn't write the plan. You can't expect me to be this way, or you can't put me in this box because it makes you uncomfortable that I'm in my liberty. It makes you uncomfortable that I can do exactly what God is calling me to do when you might not be able to. You can't. So anyway, I don't want to go off on a tangent.
No.
I could go there, but I ain't finna go there. Not
You
tonight.
went outside the norm.
Yes.
And
You know
that's not
why?
what it is. I mean, you went outside the norm, which is the box.
Yes. Yes.
And now you're stepping outside of their two-dimensional mindset and stepping into a
I
five-dimensional oasis.
Girl, you in my business. Wait a minute. What you know about that 5D? What you know about that
I mean,
5D?
people don't talk about it. We are
For
not in a
real.
3D, 4D, or even a 5D. This world is so many dimensions. There's so many levels to this that
Yes.
when you say, oh, you only have one gifting, no, we actually can have more than one. And
Yes.
that's where you're limiting. You're putting boxing is putting limitations on the capabilities or the giftings that God have given us in a
Absolutely.
nutshell. So you can say it three different ways. You're on, if you're real spiritual, the giftings. If you're on the secular, you can say my world.
Absolutely. The
You putting
universe.
limitations on my world. No, no, no. Because in the boxing, it is world. That
Oh,
it's only
really?
a small county. It literally, when I walk out the door, that's all
Wow.
that you should be. When you go to that job, that's all you should be. You living in a town, that's all you should know.
Right.
So
That
it's a
part.
very small, limited growth
Yes.
capabilities
Yes.
when we are meant for so much more.
Right. Right. I
And that
remember.
song was from growth. That was like, allow me to grow.
Yeah,
And
come
that's
on.
just not me. Allow me to open my wings and spread. We got eagles. You can't confine me. You can't restrict me. Who are you to say who I am to be? I
Yes.
am who God says I am to be.
Yes. Yes.
No
Yes.
one knows what I'm supposed to be. Some of us are still searching for it. And we are thinking we're on our paths. And we find out, oh, nope, you have went as far as I want you to go. It's a new season. Let's
Yes.
go. So
Yes.
each level is preparing you for where He wants us to go. And until you
Absolutely.
take your last breath, you still have a lot of lessons to learn.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember at my dad's funeral, I had to preach the eulogy. And I remember saying that God is not only preparing you for a certain kind of people, but He's preparing a certain kind of people for you. And I feel like the reason why people have a tendency to try to tell you who to be, to tell you how to be, is because they don't, like you said before, they don't understand the mission. What if my mission is not inside of the four walls of the church? It doesn't make me any less of an apostle than anybody else. What if
Mhm.
my mission is to go out into the streets, to go out into places like the strip clubs and pull them out, go into the traps and pull them out? Because that's what I
Right.
know. You understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That I was in the
Mhm.
streets. That's the life that I
Right.
and I had to I feel I truly wholeheartedly feel like I had to go through that process in order to impact or even relate to some of these people because they don't hear nothing if you're not speaking their language.
No. But see, here's the thing. Being that you said that, you have to think about it this way.
Mm,
How is someone who is in the world going to hear the message? If they're hungry, you telling me to eat something, to go out there and make something, but my stomach is growling.
right,
Where's the motivation for me?
right,
Where is
right,
the energy for me?
right.
Feed me. You can teach me all day, but feed me
Yes,
because I have no strength to do it.
come on.
I have no strength to do it. Now, the thing about it, one of the biggest things that I remember is, Jesus didn't stay in the church. He was out there. How you going to get the people if they're out there? How you
Exactly.
going to speak to the people? A lot of the words that are out there are so high order that you miss the people that don't understand it.
And everybody got to say TH at the end. For why? Why we
We
can't
don't
just
talk
speak
like that.
English? We don't.
We
We is
don't
from
talk
the
like that.
hood. We is
So,
from
I
the
mean,
hood.
if you want to bring some souls to him, you come out there saying thou is oh, and this is this, and you should be
Yeah.
wearing this. Okay, how can I do that? Is what they're going
Right.
to say.
Right.
And you're going to be so up here that you're going to miss all of them people down there.
And they feel
When we
like
can
it's
give a message,
attainable.
it's not. It's not even on. You're in such a level that nobody can reach you. But here we
Exactly.
are down here. We want the information. We don't know how to get it. And we feel like we're going to be beat across the head if we try. We're going to feel like we judged because of the life that we were born into or the life that we made a mistake sometime and now we're stuck.
Come
We don't
on.
even see that we can get out of that lifestyle. I remember there was a young lady that was in the church, and somebody had judged her on the basis of what she wore in the church. Didn't know that she was trying to change her life. She didn't have a means to do it. She didn't have no ways to do it. But all she knew is sort of like the lady who said, "If I touch the hem of a garment, I'll
Come
be made
on.
whole." Well, this lady thought
Come
that if she just come to the church and be amongst the people that are in the church or the church people, she felt like, she would feel welcome and at ease. She had some anxiety issues. She was on drugs and everything else. And the only thing she had on was what she wore. The only thing she had actually was what she wore to church that day.
Wow.
Some people judged her and they didn't realize it. But I'm going to speak it for me because the only reason why I remember it because I'm the one that came up to her and welcomed her at that
Wow.
time.
Wow.
And that's not the way we want our people to feel. Not all churches are like that, and
No.
not all instances are like that. But I remember coming to her. She said, I felt judged in here, and I shouldn't. And we
Mm.
don't want that. So we should not be so into the Bible that we forget that
Gotta be real.
we have to be able to be approachable. You
Yes.
can't bring the souls if the souls can't be touched. And you
Absolutely.
too good to touch the souls.
Hello.
So
You so
we
holy.
going out there talking to them. Some of the messages are too holier than thou to even catch people. And I'm gonna get in trouble about this one. They'll be all
Go
right
ahead. Go, go.
because I'm
Look,
supposed to speak it. Because some people was telling what music you should do and how you should do it. You don't know what purpose the music is for. Sometimes you miss
absolutely.
the message by looking at the delivery or the person that delivered the message.
Absolutely. And I listen, I have to share this one thing. I have to share this one thing. And
Hmm.
people don't understand that God is a God that is unorthodox. And he moves in
Exactly.
very unorthodox ways. I remember years ago, right? I
Hmm.
went to a strip club. And at this time I was already ordained. I was already, you understand me? I went to a strip club. And I don't even really know what drew me to this particular strip club. But I
Hmm.
remember sitting at the bar and there was a young lady that walked past. And for some reason when she walked past, the whole room stopped. I don't know why. But she came and sat directly next to me and just started talking. Now I feel a little bit uncomfortable because I'm like, pineapples, I don't know you. Why are you talking to me? But then for some reason, girl, I was a mess.
She just felt
But
comfortable.
she just felt comfortable. It was so interesting because she literally just sat down. Mind you, she was naked. Okay. She sat right next to me and I'm sitting here like what is going on? And she started talking, and before I knew it, and it's gonna sound like craziness or madness, I felt like I left myself, and then I
Hmm.
felt like I was watching myself talk to her.
Hmm.
I to this day I don't know what I said to this. I knew it was God. It had to be God. I don't know what I said to this young lady. But by the time I came back to myself, she hugged me and she wept in my arms. I'm talking about wept.
Oh my
And
gosh.
sitting across from me were the security guard and the owner of the club. And they were
Hmm.
trying to figure out a way how to put me out. And for some reason, they could not move their feet. And in my head, I'm like, God, they going to try to put me out. I heard God say, you're not going to leave until I tell you to leave. I'm
Exactly.
holding this lady. I'm holding, she's
Hmm.
weeping. And she said to me, when I left here tonight, I had every intention of killing myself. I have my
Jesus.
whole setup in my room. I have a bottle of pills and I have a bottle of Hennessy. I was going to take the whole bottle of pills and down it with the Hennessy and go to sleep and never wake up. This lady had 3 kids. 3 kids, and they lived with her. And she felt like in her mind, they would be better off without her because she couldn't get a job. She couldn't do anything. The only thing she could do was strip. She didn't want to strip, but that was the only thing that she could do. And because nobody would throw her a life raft and she was having so many issues, she was literally willing to end it all.
Yeah.
But
Oh
God
wow.
sent somebody like me
Hmm.
who is crazy enough and who I'm gonna say this nice way, Lord. I'm gonna say this. I really don't care what nobody think about what I do, where I go, because anytime I move, it's with a purpose. Even if
Purpose.
you don't understand what
Yes.
the purpose is, I could care less. You can't put me in no box.
There you go.
I'm not your ordinary apostle. And if you try to box me in, you will be
Hmm.
disappointed. Because
Well,
he
see,
has
the
me on
vision didn't come
the
to them; it came to
thank,
you,
thank
and
you.
that's the problem that we have. Is a lot of people are speaking on visions that God gave to the one that He gave to, and they feel like their opinions matter so much that what you see makes you crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
funny. But you're
Yes.
not crazy. You are doing a radical thing. And with the times that we're in now, that's what we need is radical. We have such a ideology of how things are supposed to be presented, how information is supposed to be given, but we don't realize you got to reach them where they are.
Come on. He
I
came to
mean,
save the
there's
lost.
literally a gospel song that says you got to reach way down to pick them up. Guess what? Well, guess what that really means is if they on the streets, we out there.
Come on.
If they listening to the baby or Lil Bootsy or whomever, and we need to kind of make it to be a gospel rap or something like that to give them the
Just to
word,
get to
then
him.
that's what we do. So we're called to do something radical right now. Stop trying to put things into a perspective. Some people even recently, and I've been listening to a lot of different things. Some people even get a little cliche when some of the rappers or people that sing certain things venture into the gospel music. Some of them actually got their foundations from the gospel.
Yes.
They just went a different way. But
Yes.
guess what? It's embedded in them. So they're going to always come back to the one they love.
Come on. Come on.
You cannot tell their path. Sometimes this path makes their testimony, and not sometimes. What they go through makes their testimony that much more powerful.
Yes.
That
Yes.
sometimes is the
Because the
gasoline that
past,
is needed to the fire so it can burn and eradicate all things and rise again like the phoenix and be renewed. And
yes.
even they can do the oils and cleanse all of that off. Sometimes you got to
Yes.
burn off all the old
Yes.
and
Yes.
start over.
Yes.
But,
But if
that's just
nobody's
me.
willing, if nobody's willing to go into the uncharted territory to reach, because listen, some of these folks that we have a tendency to judge because of the lifestyle that they're living, the oil on them is so fermented. I don't know if I'm using the right word, but it's they got more
It's
gifts
so
than some of these
potent.
potent. There we go. That's the word. Their gifts are so potent. They're more gifted than the folks in the church. They just need somebody,
Yes.
anybody, to reach down and grab them. But we so holy that we refuse.
And that's the sad part about it because one of the biggest things is they're afraid to be different. And
Yes.
yes, I use the word afraid because the fear is what hinders you. It
Thank you.
blocks you. It stifles you. So the blessing is in coming out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that's it. And that's what the box is. It's the comfort of where we are. And we
Absolutely.
have to go back to it because it's always there. We always have the idea,
Yes.
or as you say, the narrative, which is what people have thought and put into place. The stages, the steps where you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to walk, how you're supposed to talk. We've been taught that for years.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We are mentally trained for certain things. We are
Absolutely.
robotically inclined to do the same thing over and over again because we are creatures of habit. So whenever somebody gets out of line, it messes things up and it makes the crabs in the barrel mad. Because wait a minute, you're not supposed to be here. Get back down here.
Right. Right.
You're like the spine. You're out of alignment. So the chiropractor is trying
Mm,
to put you back together. No. The author said go that way.
come
But
on.
they want you to keep straight.
Come on.
But they don't know that that road probably has a bridge that is out. And you're going to fall
Jesus.
off that bridge if you don't go to the left and take that back street. That's a little rough.
Detour. Yeah. Come on. Come on.
And your truck is probably equipped to do the rough road. It's not going to break down. The tires are not going to bust. They're going to need to go that road. And then you're going to smooth out on that nice road when you're going up that mountain where you're supposed to be.
Ooh, come on
But you're
here.
going to take that hard road where you're going to drop and lose it all because you want to keep on the same path that everybody else been doing. But you don't realize everybody just fell off, and they lost it. when you were supposed to go the opposite direction
Come on.
and keep on going. So
Yes.
sometimes the road not taken is the road you're supposed to go, because there's a few things along the way you're supposed to get, because you may be stopping to gather a few things along the way that you need for the path that you're about to go on, but you're
Right.
not going to get it. You're not going to get those tools because you're too fearful
Come on.
to make the person back here who's in your ear telling you, no, 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 we always did it like this. This is the way we're supposed to do it. Your mama always did it. Your sister always did it. Your grandma always did it. Okay. There are some things we don't need to take along the way.
Come
We
on.
always did it like that.
Come on.
Okay.
Today you doing a new thing. Come
We doing it's a new thing. It's a new
on.
season. Or as always the Ty Tribbett said, new, 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 everything new. I love it. That is my theme song for this year. Oh,
I love
I was
that song.
playing it. I love it. So I
Yes.
love it. I mean, it means a lot. So doing something new,
I have
and
to
I
shout
love it.
out
I'm.
really quickly. I'm so sorry. Miss Maud King and the Wandering Sheep. Hello,
Oh
hello,
yes,
hello.
I
How you
love
guys?
it.
I promise you I'm not ignoring you, but we this conversation is it done got good to me. I got to I got to control myself because I want to run. She's dropping some jewels. Y'all I hope y'all listening. I hope you're listening,
Hmm.
Linda. Okay, so really quickly, I want you to tell
Hmm.
us what are the dangers of someone allowing themselves to be boxed in by others.
Literally, it's just what we just talked about. Being boxed in by others, you will miss your blessing. You
Mm,
will miss the opportunity to do something different. You'll probably be going through the motions, doing the same thing over and over again. People stuck in a rut and unhappy. So, a lot of unhappy people coming from staying where they shouldn't be,
mhm.
staying in a place of comfort when the comfort isn't where you grow, it's in the I don't know zone, because you're not walking by faith. You're
Right.
walking by what you know. And so staying in that box is not following a faithful situation. That's how I feel it to be. And because when you step outside the box, it's unknown.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so now you're taking a leap of faith.
Mhm.
But inside the box, you already know what that is. I wrote a book and I always talked about the comfort zone. And so that's where the comfort zone is. Every 2 weeks, I knew what was going to happen. I already knew this. So it was a routine. It's like the train wheels. I think I can. I'm not getting nowhere, but I know where I'm going. I know how far I'm going to go. I know what I'm going
Right.
to do.
Right.
And that's it. That's all you're going to see. But the potential is outside the box.
Come on.
So you stay with those people, them friends. That's like being an entrepreneur and hanging around non-entrepreneurial friends. You're not going to grow because your mindset will not allow you to, because those friends will tell you not to do that because they don't
Right.
understand the risks behind being an
Right.
entrepreneur. They don't understand that, yeah, you don't see it, but that's where you should be. They don't understand that, okay, this quarter you're going to take a loss, but that don't mean anything because you don't know what's going to happen the next time, because that famine that you had in that one quarter, that next one will make up for it. So you may get 3 times what you lost in that last quarter. So you will make a profit, but you won't make it because them friends going to tell you not to do it.
Do it.
Close that business. Stop selling that. Don't go there. You may want to get a job offer out of state. Them family members telling you to stay here. You don't need to go. You got kids here. You don't got nobody there. That's that box. You don't have no support system. That's that box. When in fact you could have moved, bought a house, made some friends, even possibly gotten more. But you stayed right here and you didn't go anywhere.
Yes.
So you end up losing stuff because you're miserable. End up
Yeah.
health failing you because you're miserable. So all of this is coming on you. You end up with ulcers, all that stuff. You made your situation worse by staying in that box. And them friends or them family members are nowhere to be found
Mm.
because you are in that box by
By
yourself.
yourself.
Cause see,
Literally.
notice that they put you in the box. They didn't put them in the box. They put
Right. They put you
you
in
in
the
the
box.
box.
It's a
So
fact.
that is a lonely situation, and that's what people don't realize. In that box is you, not us.
You.
Them. They closed you in to stay right where they know where you are. So you can't get that degree, to get that good job, to make that money, to buy that house, to get you and your family or future family into that big old house that you saw on TV that you wanted to get with them 5 bedrooms on that big old acres. You're
Come
not
on.
gonna get that. No, 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 no. They want that. That's why you in that box, because they want that.
Right.
Let's
They
not ever
want
forget. They
right.
don't want you to get it
Right.
because they ain't got it yet. Then once they get it, then maybe you can get it so they can brag to you about the box that they was not in.
Right. That they tried to put you in. Oh, okay.
Yes. And
Stay
see,
right
that's
there.
that. I feel like that's what the box is. You stay right there
Stay
because I
right
know what you're doing over there. That's that hidden enemy that you didn't know about. That is that
there.
frenemy that is trying to befriend you to keep you where they need you to be, so that when they need you, you there. Oh, I
Right.
know where they at. They over right there in Lonely Lane in Broke Central on the corner,
Mm.
and that's not where you're supposed to be. And that's what allowing them to box you in is very dangerous.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's dangerous to the point it could literally mean life or death.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's what it costs me.
Mm-hmm.
Allowing people to put me in a box. Allowing people to tell me that because I had certain issues and that
Mm-hmm.
I had certain struggles that I shouldn't be ministering. It put me in a box to make me feel like I was no longer qualified to coach young girls to becoming better. When in actuality, the proof was in the pudding. And in
Mm-hmm.
actuality, I watched these young ladies transform right before my eyes. I mean, completely. And I
Awesome.
was struggling, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
I had some serious struggles. I ain't
Mm-hmm.
talking about no surface stuff. I'm talking about I was really struggling with some heavy stuff. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yet and still, the anointing didn't belong to me, it belonged to God. And it was God
Right.
that was just using me as a vehicle to minister to these young girls. And
Mm-hmm.
people didn't comprehend that it really wasn't
No.
me. So even
Mm-hmm.
though I had my weaknesses, mind you, I was working on it. I was
Mm-hmm.
working on being free from these things that I was struggling with. It's not like I was just
Mm-hmm.
sitting in it like, okay, it is what it is. No, I wholeheartedly wanted to be free. It just took time. You understand what I'm saying? But I wasn't gonna
Mm-hmm.
stop what I was doing because I was struggling, right? So what ended up happening was I allowed the chatter of people convince me that I should stop doing what I was doing, even though I was watching the manifestation of miracles, miracles after miracle after miracle even though it was right in my face. I allowed
So
what I
did you put yourself in a box because they
yes,
told you?
yes. But listen, this is and I'm sharing the story for a reason. I really
Mm-hmm.
want somebody to get this
Mm-hmm.
that that you allowing whether you allow somebody to put you in a box or you put yourself, thank you put yourself in a box because of what people are saying, it could
Right.
literally mean life or death.
Right there.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to give you the short version because it's a very long story.
Mm-hmm.
Now what ended up happening was I withdrew myself from coaching these girls. It was 15 to be exact.
Oh.
This is how I started Diamonds in the Rough. It was literally 15 young girls that I was coaching. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what they were. They were diamonds in the rough. Literally. That's who I am, a diamond in the rough. So what ended
Right.
up happening was I allowed what people was saying about me
Mm-hmm.
to determine for me who God is and to determine for me who God was choosing me to be. And I withdrew myself from coaching. And one particular young girl, this happened it was a few years ago and everybody knew about it. It was national, international news. She was reaching out to me on this particular day and I did not answer the phone. Why? Because I'm not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go get herself together. Q is not equipped to help these young ladies, even though Q was helping these young ladies. Q
Right.
got struggles. Q got issues. I let their narrative penetrate my mind to the point where it became my narrative.
Right.
Fast forward, I went to a church service and the pastor told me, Q, whatever you stop doing, you need to start. Listen now. Whatever you stopped doing, you need to start it back because what you're doing is literally a matter of life and death. And I heard what he said, but I didn't take heed to what he said. I went
Hmm.
back to arguing with myself. Oh no, Q, I gotta fix this. I gotta straighten. I'm not equipped. I'm not qualified
Right.
to help these girls, even though I was already helping these girls. So
Right.
what happened? The same young lady that was trying to reach out to me a few weeks later hung herself on Facebook Live, and I witnessed it. Yes. And for
I
years,
remember that young lady.
okay. And for years, it haunted me because
Oh,
I felt like,
wow.
what if I would have answered the phone? I'm telling y'all this for a reason because sometimes we allow what people say, think, feel about our journey and our process determine for us who and what we're supposed to be. And then
Yep.
we take the wrong detour. And it literally could cost life. It could cost some of y'all. The reason why y'all going through what y'all going through is because that's the process you have to go through to help somebody else. How are
Right.
you going to help them if you can't even relate to them? These people don't want to hear a Bible story. These people don't even want to step foot in the church. That's why
No.
God said in these days, you be the living epistle. You have enough
Mhm.
word on the inside of you so that when you open up your mouth, it just comes out automatically.
Yes.
Your life is a living epistle. They don't want to hear. They don't want church as usual anymore. They want some truth.
That they want the radicalness.
They want the
And I know they
radical.
don't like that word radical, but it's they want something different. You have to be different to get to them. The
Yes.
people of today, the kids of today, they they're different. They're
I mean,
so
real different.
different. They are so different. You
I mean,
can't.
real different.
I mean, we're
Right.
gonna leave
I'm
that one
itching.
right there.
I'm itching
We're
too.
gonna leave that one right there. You got to scratch on that one. You're gonna leave them right there. Like, y'all,
Woo!
I'm really,
I tell you.
I'm really silly, but it's okay. I can be serious too.
Yeah.
But
Right.
in all honesty, really and truly, because there were things that were told to me that I just didn't like. There were people that why I stopped music at one point in time. Why I stopped a lot. I stopped so much stuff. And it hurt me to look back. I'm like, well, where could I be if I hadn't stopped?
Come
Where
on.
could I mean, yeah, I know they say don't have no regrets, but sometimes you just kind of got to sit back and take a moment of reflection and realize sometimes you're in your own way. And when you realize you're in your own way, then now you got to figure out how to take these stumbling blocks out of your way. And if that means moving yourself out the way, move out the way because you can hurt yourself.
Literally. Literally. You can hurt yourself. Absolutely. And I'm gonna go. I want to type that in the chat real quick because that struck a chord with me. Sometimes you're in your own way, and ain't nobody the stumbling block. It's you. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get to this last question because I think it's gonna bring it all together. I think it's gonna bring everything full circle. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Come on and bring it full circle. Come on and I am a diamond in the rough and refined and polished and dirty down to the very core. I got to listen. I got to say that again for the folks in the back and in the balcony. I am a diamond. I say neighbor.
Yes. Yes. I knew the words.
Woo! I am a diamond in the rough
Yes.
and refined
Mm-hmm.
and unpolished,
Mm-hmm.
and dirty down to the very core. Could you please elaborate on that line for us, Tanal?
Okay. I'm gonna have to go backwards on this because I gotta say what the dirty down to the very core means. Down to the very core talks about, the gunk and the stuff that I've been through in my life. Those things that you want to take to the grave, but that's
Yeah.
what helped make you.
Yes.
That helped what defined you, okay? Because in coming out, you got to get that out. But you don't need to take everything out because you need it.
Yes.
Because that's the yin and the yang of you, the good and the bad of you. And you need that balance. It's a healthy balance. And when I say refined, honey, that means you just done cleaned up a little bit.
Right. A little
You
bit.
know, you still got a little dirt on you.
You know
You
what
still
I'm
got a little
saying?
dirt on you.
Still
So you're
full of
gonna come and
residue.
clean up just a little bit, just a little bit. May
Right.
want to cut your hair, might want to dye it a little bit,
Mhm.
just spruce it up a little bit.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then you keep on going. You still rough
Come
because
on.
you need some of that. Because everything you need is inside of you.
Absolutely.
You don't need all that dirt off of you because you need that reminder to know who you really are. Because that dirt helped define you.
Mhm.
The beauty of you is in the things that you went through. It's
Absolutely.
the flaws of you that make you who you are. And that's what makes you a diamond. Because the diamond came from all the pressure and all the
Girl.
dirt and everything you went through. So everything deep down inside of you helped to make you.
Absolutely.
And in my family, we say trust the process. As hard as it is,
Woo.
trusting the process is the process of making a diamond.
Yes.
It takes a diamond. It don't always crack under pressure. Sometimes they say, oh, yes, it do. It is made under pressure.
Listen, it's made in fire. That's what a lot of people
Yes,
don't know. Diamonds
they
come
don't
from
know
volcanoes. um,
that it takes a lot to make it.
a
It
lot.
undergoes a lot. The process is not easy.
It's not.
But when you get to that shiny, oh, beautiful edge, big or small, when you get to that diamond,
My God.
you got you a winner.
Yeah.
And that goes with people who've been in relationships where they were being mistreated,
Yeah.
abused,
Mhm.
treated as an option, treated as if they didn't matter. That's all the dirt that's being thrown on them.
Mhm.
Because in doing that, they lost their worth. They lost their beauty. They lost their shine. Somebody gonna meet them,
Absolutely.
man or woman, friend, whatever, out in the street. Even your enemy sometimes can help you out.
Oh yeah.
They have one agenda, but it turns out to be exactly what God intended to be. They were the footstool to bring you out that cave where you were, that
Come on.
dark place where you were.
Come on.
And then they blow off some of that dirt that was on you. You still got that dirt. They blow a little bit off, wipe you off a little bit, just enough for the next person to pick you up.
Yes.
And guess what that person do? They buff you a little more. So that's that polishing that's going on.
Right.
You
Right.
still got that refinement there because the shape is coming in now because they seeing it. But then here comes the beauty of the rain that purifies everything, and there is the diamond that comes about it. I knew it was something there, but it took a little time to get there.
Mm.
You had to go through some stuff, some people, the good and the bad, and you still got
Yeah.
that dirt in there. But in the end, there you go. And they had to blow a little heat on you at the end to dry you off.
Listen, after all of that, after you go through the fire and then get chipped at, you got to go through some more fire just for that light
Mm-hmm.
to shine. It's called the refiner's
Yes.
fire. Y'all ain't
Yes.
ready. Y'all ain't
No.
ready. Diamonds in the rough. It's called the refiner's fire. You wonder why you catching all that hell? Don't worry. Lay around for me.
because he is preparing you for greater.
Oh, come on. Come on.
He's
Come
preparing you
on
for
here.
greater. So when you want to give up, just remember, I'm not going through this for nothing.
Nothing. Not even
It's
for
because he done
nothing.
peeked into my future and saw what I got going on,
Come
and
on.
he trying to keep me from it. But can't nobody stop me.
Not even me.
You can't box me.
Listen. Listen. Oh my goodness. This was the bomb.